On the 13th of July, 2026, it was supposed to be a routine meeting. A woman who had spent nearly 2 weeks waiting for the outcome of a disciplinary hearing received a call from her employer. She was told to come to the office. Less than 20 minutes later, she was dead. 3 gunshots, broad daylight, outside the very workplace she had entered only moments before. The gunman disappeared almost as quickly as he had arrived. But what happened over the next few days transformed an already shocking story into one of South Africa's most talked about criminal investigation. An arrest, photographs that spread rapidly across social media, questions about possible connections, and then the death. A death that raised even more questions. Was this simply a tragic work dispute, or was there something much bigger hiding beneath the surface? This is a story of Under Pitch Mlondleni. Every true crime story begins long before the crime itself. The understanding why so many people were devastated by Under Mlondleni's death. She was born on the 10th of February 1994 in East London, now officially known as Kukombo City. She grew up surrounded by family. Although she lost her father at a young age, those closest to her say she was raised in a home built on resilience, love, and faith. Her mother became her anchor. Her elder sister became her closest friend. According to family members, the two sisters were inseparable. They shared dreams, they shared responsibilities, and eventually they would unknowingly share one final morning together. Unlike many people who stopped learning after high school, Anda kept pushing herself. After matriculating, she moved to Cape Town to continue her studies. She first qualified in architectural drafting, then completed further studies in biochemistry and biotechnology. Friends say she also developed a talent for graphic design. She designed logos, built visual identities, helped entrepreneurs establish their businesses. Learning wasn't simply something she did. It was simply who she was. In 2019, she began working, and for 5 years, she built a reputation as dependable, hardworking, and professional. Colleagues reportedly credited her for contributing to the company's growth. And then in 2024, she accepted a new job opportunity, a company called Mlondleni Holdings. On paper, it looked like another step forward. Instead, it would become the final chapter of her life. Mlondleni Holdings operated in several industries, including security, logistics, and tender-related services, and joined as a head of finance. But her role extended beyond accounting. She also helped prepare tender documentation for government contracts. It was work that required precision, accuracy, and trust. For almost 2 years, everything appeared normal. Then in July 2026, something changed. A dispute arose concerning documentation submitted with the government tender. The supporting document allegedly had an altered expiry date, and that the irregularity later became the subject of a fraud investigation. Anda denied responsibility, and that people close to her believed she was being pressured to accept blame. On the 1st of July 2026, she was then suspended pending a disciplinary hearing. 12 days, that's how long she waited, suspended, not knowing what would happen to her job. Then on the morning of the 13th of July, the call came. According to family, Mlondleni was at home with her mother and sister, waiting for the outcome of the disciplinary hearing that had taken place nearly 2 weeks earlier. The call, according to family members, came from her workplace. She was asked to come to the office to receive the outcome of the disciplinary process. She agreed. Her sister drove her there. Neither of them could have known it would be the last journey. The meeting lasted less than 20 minutes. At around 11:20 a.m., Anda called her sister and asked to be collected. She had finished the meeting. She was waiting outside, and moments later, everything changed. While she was walking on the road, an unknown man approached her. The man produced a firearm and opened fire. She was shot once before collapsing, and 2 additional shots were fired at close range. The attacker then took her cell phone before fleeing the scene on foot. Witnesses later reported hearing gunfire before seeing people rushing from nearby offices. Emergency services responded, but it was already too late. Mlondleni was declared dead at the scene. The shooting immediately became a priority investigation for detectives in the Eastern Cape. According to police, CCTV footage, witness statement, and other investigative leads helped investigators begin tracing the movement of the suspected gunman. 2 days after the shooting, police intercepted a vehicle in Backen Bay. A suspect was arrested. Police search conducted during the investigation resulted in the recovery of items they believed were relevant to the case, including clothing they alleged matched that worn by the shooter. A 32-year-old man identified in court proceedings as Lukholo Kafile was charged with premeditated murder, conspiracy to commit murder, robbery with aggravating circumstances, and the unlawful possession of a firearm and ammunition. Kafile is not applying for bail, and the case has been postponed to the 11th of September for further investigations. A few months earlier, Lukholo was invited to the 60th birthday of Sicelo, Ntengento, to be a guest speaker. Sicelo is the managing director of Mlondleni Holdings. He posted these pictures on Facebook, not knowing a few months later they will be used to link him to a shooting. A few days after Mlondleni was killed, the managing director of the company, the man she is understood to have met with that final morning, was found dead at his home in Ntengento village outside the city. He was 60 years old. Police opened an inquest docket. That's a specific or careful word, and it matters. An inquest is how South African police investigate any death that isn't immediately explained.
Of Peach's passing, sihleli ke ngokebhasi fini sixoxa ngale. Peach was my best friend, besenza yonke into soyithi besihlamba soyithi to an extent, so sihleli soba into ibhafi nathi ikhanda umqolo omtshana nami mhlawumbe umqolo. Then kungenele ifoni yalo tata, I think 9 o'clock, athi ucela uPeach aye ebhokisini. Uphendula ndimpost because yayingumuntu wayezandla ezazingekho manzi. ndithi makayi ndihleli ndihamba ngo-11 ndiya e-DMRE. So sawuhamba soyi-2 sihambe soyi-2. I dropped her, I think at it was 10:50 or 10:55, something like that. Then abesesithi ungabuya ngami ngesemtshana, ndithi mna ke ewe sawubuya ndingabe nozayo. Then about 11:20 she calls Asive. Siqobile ngotata, ndithi that's fine. I'm coming, but ikhona nje into ezangidileyisayo. What I'm going to say is a bit insensitive, because what I found was that I replayed the video of Peaches shooting so many times, because it happened at 3 minutes after she called me. It was 11:23. I saw that she was shot 3 times. We were fasting 3 hourly. So I tried to connect with God. What did this 3 mean? And then it said divine completeness. Opichi is in a better place, guys. Yes. She is out of harm. And she has played her role as an angel, because siyayazi ndoba zonke as events zenzekileyo, she told a story not only for her but for other victims of the same person. They called us, they SMS'd us, and those people said we didn't get our justice, but through her, justice for them was served. So lalakashe English, lalakashe Julie, lalakashe Marusha. I will always love you. All the siblings will always love you.
In a public statement, Mlondleni's family mentioned they are not accusing anyone. They said, we are asking for a transparent, impartial investigation, one that uncovers the truth and holds anyone responsible. Her sister Asive said Anda's life mattered. She was more than a victim, a daughter, a sister, a aunt, a friend. A public petition calling for a full investigation has circulated online, gathering signatures under the header Justice for Peach.
Sister ka deceased. Today size apha court for a first appearance your suspect ekuthiwa ibulele sister wami. We are hoping that sizawufumana inyani yoba kwenzeke ntoni and why eyenzile. For now sisathetha loo nto, and hoping that everything that will uncover izawuncover isheka, then siyazi into yoba bekutheni.
Sizokumanga into ethi sisapota nefamily yakwamlundleni, silila nayo, sizokuthi singalamanina abancinci alapha ephondweni ngalapha eregionini, sizokuthi sifuna ngafumani ibhili, umthetho walapha awudlale indlela yakhe.
In every true crime story, there comes a point where the headlines end and real life begins. Because long after the cameras leave, long after the social media debates fade, there's still a family trying to understand how someone they loved never came back home. For under Peach, Mlondleni's mother, there's an empty chair at the dinner table. Because behind every case file is a human life, one that mattered, one that deserved to be remembered. This case remains before the court. And if you like true crime stories, please do subscribe to True Crime Unlocked. We follow ongoing investigations. Until next time, stay informed, stay safe, and remember, every case deserves the truth.